It means that the 21st of June 2018, for the first time, perhaps globally, a country will adopt or put into force a law to develop a framework to tackle post-traumatic stress disorder and mental health injuries for the first time, and Canada is leading the way.
We are here to reach out to our peers and try to prevent PTSD. One of the things we're finding is our population, the paramedic population, is more educated as to the effects of PTSD and the importance of reaching out.
She once told me that she could not even look at her uniform. It was painful for her because it was at one time a badge of honor. It was something she was very proud of, and at one point it became a badge of shame. She struggled with it, but recently she's been told that she cannot go back to work, a decision taken out of her hands. So today she presented me with this hat, and it says, "Thank you so much for helping our country's helpers. We've all got your back, and I look forward to the day where no one will have to fight for help."
The work that you did as paramedics, those of you that I've known over those years, don't ever forget how important that work was to those patients that you looked after and you transported. And most of them made it to the hospital intact, and we know the stories of those who didn't. And those can leave lasting bad memories.
Some people say, it's hard, Natalie. You see terrible things, but you signed up for it. And the thing is, we didn't sign up for heartbreak. We signed up for saving people's lives. We didn't sign up for nightmares and memories of people's pain. We signed up for achieving educational goals and making a difference in people's lives. That's what we signed up for. No one signed up for the pain that PTSD brings. But my hope is that through this type of legislation, we will prevent that from happening.
Having to go into the water to retrieve the body of a 4-year-old girl. And I've been strong as an ox all my life, and I started to tell them the story about turning around and walking back to the parents who were waiting on the bank, and the mother started to scream, and the father. And then I started crying. I just couldn't hold it back. It was the first time in my life that it really seemed to affect me. And then I realized, this is so important. And I have to thank Todd and everyone who voted for this bill and the government who's going to support it, because it's so important.
We're here on behalf of all the souls and people that this piece of legislation represents. And at the end of the day, we owe it to them to continue to work to make sure that any first responder that is so fundamental to our country that is suffering, we are there for them.
C-211 is, to me, is the same as what my dog is. It's to give people hope. So my husband is still a serving medic here in Ottawa, and my biggest worry now is something happening to him. And so I'm optimistic now that this framework going forward will give us a place to start.
To me, Bill C-211 means nobody fighting to get the help that they need and deserve. I was diagnosed with PTSD 2.5 years ago after a traumatic call, and my life's never been the same, and it won't ever be the same.
Many first responders, many of our veterans, many people across the country that are working in the medical industry experience post-traumatic stress disorder. It can be very debilitating, but we have solutions, we have hope, and we have ways that we're going to fix this.
What you do every day in your lives is what really matters, and the fact that you've got champions like Todd to make sure that we're looking at what we can do from a federal level to help those who need help, to make sure that there are systems in place for those who suffer from the effects of what they encounter in their day-to-day work. That's why we do what we do, is to support you and to celebrate what you do, to thank you what you do.
I think not only does this bill help us all going forward, but it also gives a lot of those suffering in silence hope that they can one day come out and speak about what they're going through, so we can stop losing people. We've lost far too many people Statistically speaking, we're losing one every 3 days in Canada, and that's one a year is too many. One ever is too many. So thank you so much, Todd Doherty. You're going to save thousands of lives.